I'm going to go with the fact that Villanova is going to win the national title again. The third time since 2016, and there you go. Big East, Villanova. Think about this. If
Jay
you
Wright
put this
coaching games
roster,
too.
if you put this roster with Jay Wright coaching, none of you would even think twice about if I said that. Right? Am I wrong?
Agreed.
Look at that roster.
Agreed. Totally agree.
Really good roster, right? Really good. We're not seeing Mark Armstrong on there. We're not seeing Lance Ware. They've got depth. They've got experience. They've got balance. They've still got those guys that are around from the culture, Justin Moore and Eric Dixon. They've been there a while. Now, again, I understand people killing Kyle Neptune last year. I think it was completely unjustified. The guy didn't have a point guard. He didn't have a point guard. He also didn't have his freshman, Cam Whitmore, for the preseason and early in the season. You cannot win without a point guard. Now he's got Justin Moore back, Mark Armstrong with a year under his belt. And again, Bamba can score from the wing. Tyler Burton was a really good player at Richmond for 4 years. Hakeem Hart was a solid player at Maryland. Lance Ware, again, Dixon. But the thing is, Neptune did a really good job, by the way, his first year at Fordham. People forget that. He just was dealt a hand that I don't care if Jay Wright was coaching last year. He wasn't winning with that group, especially in the first part of the year.
I love the take. I love the take. Here's the thing. The talent's
I'm
there.
I work for Fox.
Terrence, you're doing 2 games for Fox next week.
I am. You're right.
I mean,
but it's
you
not
are
the only conference I'm working for. That's all I'm saying, Fanta. I'm saying we got to make sure we stay neutral here.
I mean, Villanova has the pieces to make a very deep run in March, and Jeff just said it. I mean, the only question about this team is whether or not Kyle Neptune can get them all to come together. And part of the criticism was unjust last year. You went from Ryan Arcidiacono to Jalen Brunson. What are they doing now in the NBA? To Colin Gillespie, to no one, to Chris Arcidiacono. That was a joke last year. And your best player was out for the majority of the season. They didn't do okay in the transfer portal. Yeah. They hit a grand slam in the transfer portal because guess what they did? They called a bunch of wine and cheese donors who stacked up a ton of NIL money and said, we got to do what we got to do. Jay Wright's calling us for money. You going to give him money? Hell yeah, you're going to.
You're not saying no to him.
Yeah.
All right, Rob, what's your hot take?
Well, it's going to make T.O. exceptionally upset, but my hottest overall take is that Providence is going to finish as a top 3 team in the Big East. They're going to finish as a top 15 team in America. And, spoiler alert, I have them making the Final Four.
Whoa. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, that's hot, all right. That is hot.
Yeah, that is a hot take. I'm loading up the pressure on
that's a hot take
not
for a
Kimmy
cold
English. Not on Kimmy English, on Kim
or
English.
Kimmy.
We got to get it right, Jeff. He's not Kimmy anymore.
I changed it in my phone. Hey, I changed it in my phone after we were done with him. It's Kimmy. It's back to Kimmy.
It's back to Kimmy. All right. Well, no, here's my take on that is just that it's a veteran team. They have 2 of maybe like the 5 or 6 best players that are coming back in the Big East. They have a guy who could end up being the Big East Player of the Year in Bryce Hopkins, who was playing at a Big East Player of the Year level last year before everything the wheels kind of came off in mid-February. I think Gardway Duwall is going to be someone that really stands out this season. I think he really fits a role well with that team, the athleticism, the defense that he's going to bring. And Josh Aduro, to me, is a guy that is a really good fit as a kind of small ball, space the floor 5-man in the Big East. They have role players, they have veterans, they have some talent that they can throw in there, some youthful talent. I think Duwall is going to end up being an NBA guy one day. So it's out there. It's a hot take, I know, but I do think that Providence is a team that is being really undervalued this year nationally.
Wow.
Now they're Villanova, but they both have talent. They both have talent. All jokes aside, I'm giving Fanta a hard time, and obviously I'm giving Rob a hard. Both teams are very talented. Villanova has dudes. I just wonder. how long it's going to take. Kyle Neptune's got no excuses now. If something happens at this point and they don't win, there's no excuse at this point because that roster is loaded. Providence, got to put those pieces together. We still have to wait and see. I love Kim English. I had their game when he was at George Mason. They played at Dayton last year. I think he's great. He gets his guys together. The people love playing for him. I'm excited to see. I think Final Four in year one at Providence is spicy. That is very spicy.
It's the bold prediction show. What do you want me to do? Come out here and say, I think Kansas is going to be the best team in college basketball. I think Hunter Dickinson's going to play really well for Bill Self. It's called the bold predictions, not the accurate predictions. Come on, T.O. Let's have some fun. Let's get weird.
Bold predictions that are intelligent. I mean, there have been some bold predictions that have been intelligent. Then there's the prediction that the Atlantic Coast Conference is number 2 in college basketball. All right.
Pretty sure they beat the Big Ten last year, who was widely considered to be the second best conference in college basketball. And they beat them in the challenge. So keep going.
Hey, leave it to me, Terrence, to not give a hot take about a Big East team.
There we go. Right? Here we go, Fanta. There we go.
Mama Hog hasn't gone to bed yet, and she's about to fall in love with me. For the first time since 1995, I am predicting that the Arkansas Razorbacks will go to the Final Four. I love this team. They've got the mix of returning experience and a blend of newcomers. Bus is always going to be able to cruise through the transfer portal. And I'm betting on Trayvon Brazile. I'm betting on Devo Davis. I'm betting on the kids that they brought in and cleaned up with in the transfer portal. I like what I see out of Chandler Lawson. I think L. Ellis is only going to get better there. Tremont Mark fits Arkansas. Tremont Mark was such a good acquisition by Eric Musselman because in a lot of ways, Houston and Arkansas and how hard they play are the same. Caleb Battle, this is stop number 3 for him. He is a guy that is a bucket getter and is a high-level scorer. So all the trajectory's been there. We don't talk about this enough in the sport that before 1996, before 2021, the last time Arkansas, Jeff, had been in the second weekend of the NCAA tournament was 96. They've now done that 3 consecutive years. Why can't the Razorbacks make it all the way to a Final Four?
No, they can. Again, they have a hell of a coach. They've got depth. The only thing I worry about is their perimeter shooting. I don't know if they've got great perimeter shooting, but collectively they've got good perimeter shooting. But yeah, Mama Hog, man, if they make the Final Four, we're bringing her to Phoenix. We're going to bring her out to the clubs in Scottsdale. We're going out partying with Mama Hog.
You can't hang with Mama Hog.
You cannot hang with Mama Hog. It's not. Come on, man. Who are we kidding?
Imagine bringing her to Scottsdale to those clubs. My God.
Yeah, right. I love it. They're my biggest concern. It's not the shooting. I think that the shooting is going to figure itself out. It's going to be how long it takes Muss to figure out like what works with this group, right? Like you see that kind of same cycle every year with the Muss Bus is they start out okay. They have a slump in December and January, starts putting some stuff together. And then come February, they turn it on. They figure it out. He discovers who like his mismatch guy is. He discovers who his defender is. He discovers what actions are working. And they kind of figure it out and put it together. And that's why they make those runs in March. How long is that going to take? And is it going to allow them to have a good enough seed where, they're not going to end up playing a 1 or a 2 seed in the first weekend of the NCAA tournament? I think that guy is going to be Khalif Battle. I think he's going to be the guy that ends up being their go-to player down the stretch of games. I think Devo Davis needs to take a big step forward at the point guard spot. But there are a lot of pieces there. And you know what's the most exciting part about it is they can run out a lineup with 4 guys that are 6'4" to 6'6" with Trayvon Brazile at the 5 spot. That is a kind of switchable, aggressive, athletic, long defense that Muss loves. I really like this group's ceiling.